Chapter 1. History of Computers. Learning Outcomes. In this chapter, you will learn about the early calculating devices, types of computers, generations of computers. Hey Sukaba, what is this picture you're looking at? Just like you have parents, grandparents, great-grandparents and other ancestors, this is the picture of my ancestors. Oh, really? What is the name of your ancestor in this picture? It is a difference engine, one of the earliest automatic calculators. And who was the brain behind it? It was Charles Babbage, the father of computers. Oh, Sukaba, it is fascinating. Please tell us more about your family. Sure, it is a pleasure telling when someone is interested in your history. Early calculators. In early times, people used fingers, stones and bones for calculations. Later, the Chinese developed the abacus. Look at figure 1.1, which helped in counting large numbers. It was made up of a wooden frame with rods and beads. Each rod had a definite number of beads. The abacus was the first calculating device. It was mainly used by merchants and traders who needed to count the items they sold or bought. It was also used to perform basic calculations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Smart Connect. The word abacus is taken from a Greek word abax, which means flat surface. Further developments led to the invention of different machines for calculations. Napier's bones. The device Napier's bones, referred to figure 1.2, was invented by John Napier in 1617. It consisted of rectangular rods made up of bone, ivory, wood or metal. These rectangular rods had numbers written on them. This device was mainly used for multiplication. Pascaline calculator. The Pascaline calculator, referred to figure 1.3, was developed by Blaise Pascal in 1642. It was a rectangular box. Numbers were displayed on the rotating wheels. It was mainly developed for accounting purpose. The first Pascaline could handle only 5-digit numbers, but later versions were able to handle 6- and 8-digit numbers as well. Smart Connect. Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz developed stepped reckoner or Leibniz calculator in 1672, which was the first calculating device that could perform all 4 basic arithmetic operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Difference engine. The difference engine, referred to figure 1.4, was designed by Charles Babbage in 1822. It was designed to do mathematical operations automatically. It was one of the earliest automatic calculators. Analytical engine. The analytical engine, referred to figure 1.5, was developed by Charles Babbage in 1837. It was a new kind of mechanical computer that could solve complex calculations including multiplication and division. The basic parts of the analytical engine resembled the components of a simple computer system. It had 5 units: input, output, store, mill, and control. The mill was similar to a modern computer's CPU. It was the world's first general-purpose computer. Charles Babbage was referred to as the father of computers after his invention and concept of analytical engine. Tabulating machine. The tabulating machine, referred to figure 1.6, was developed by Hermann Hollerith in 1890. It stored data using the punched cards. Inspired by the success of his machine, Hermann moved on to form the Tabulating Machine Company. The company was taken over by the Computing Tabulating Recording Company in 1924, which was later renamed as International Business Machines Corporation, IBM. Generations of computers. The computer has evolved from a large-sized simple calculating machine to a smaller but much more powerful machine. Computers are classified into 5 generations. Each generation used a different technology. Let us discuss the characteristics of each generation. First generation computers, 1940 to 1958. They used vacuum tubes, refer to figure 1.7. They used punched cards for input and output of data. They calculated data in milliseconds. They were very large in size but had small storage capacity. They were slow in speed. They consumed a large amount of energy. Examples: ENIAC and UNIVAC. The ENIAC, or Electronic Numerical Integrator and Calculator, refer to figure 1.8, was the first electronic computer developed by J. Eckert and J. Mauchly in 1946. ENIAC was the first general-purpose electronic computer. The UNIVAC, or Universal Automatic Computer, refer to figure 1.9, was the first commercially available computer developed by J. Eckert and J. Mauchly in 1951. UNIVAC contained more than 5,000 vacuum tubes. Second generation computers, 1959 to 1963. They were smaller in size than the first generation computers. They used transistors, refer to figure 1.10, instead of vacuum tubes. They used punched cards and magnetic tapes for input and output of data. They were faster, cheaper, and more efficient than the first generation computers. They could calculate data in microseconds. They were costly and could be used only for specific purposes. Examples: IBM 1401, figure 1.11, RCA 501, Honeywell 200, refer to figure 1.12. Third generation computers, 1964 to 1970. They used integrated circuits, ICs, refer to figure 1.13, in place of transistors. An IC is also called a chip and may contain thousands of transistors. They used keyboards for input of data and monitor for its output. They were smaller, faster, cheaper, and more efficient than the early computers. Hence, they were made available to the general public. Examples: IBM 360, refer to figure 1.14, Apple I, refer to figure 1.14, ICL 1900, refer to figure 1.15. Fourth generation computers, 1971 to 2000. They are more powerful and reliable than the previous generation computers. They use microprocessors. Microprocessors, refer to figure 1.16, are very large-scale integrated VLSI circuits which contain many ICs on a single chip. They use keyboard, mouse, scanner for data input and monitor, printer, speakers for its output. They have high storage capacity. They are much smaller, faster, and the cheapest among all the generations. Examples: IBM PC, refer to figure 1.17, Apple Macintosh, HP 9000. Smart Connect. The first integrated circuit was developed in the 1950s by Jack Kilby and Robert Noyce. Fifth generation computers, present and beyond. The fifth generation computers are still under development. Some of the prototypes developed have the following capabilities: use of super large-scale integrated chips, artificial intelligence, a technology that enables a machine to think like humans and perform human-like tasks such as voice recognition, decision-making, and translation between languages. Ability to recognize image and voice. Ability to solve complex problems including decision-making and logical reasoning. Generation, technology, input or output, main characteristics. First, 1940 to 1958, vacuum tubes, punch cards, slow in speed, required lot of power, very large in size, very expensive. Second, 1959 to 1963, transistors, punch cards, magnetic tapes, smaller, faster and cheaper. Third, 1964 to 1970, integrated circuits, chips, keyboard for input and monitor for output, smaller, faster and cheaper. Increased storage capacity, available to general public. Fourth, 1971 to 2000, microprocessors, keyboard, mouse, scanner and so on for input, monitor, printer, speakers and so on for output. High storage capacity, could process millions of instructions in a second. Fifth, present and beyond. Artificial intelligence, touchscreen, voice recognition, use large-scale integrated chips, ability to think like humans, ability to recognize image and voice. Types of computers. Computers are classified into 4 types on the basis of their performance and capacity. Smart Connect. Param 8000 is India's first supercomputer and was built in 1990. Supercomputers. Supercomputers, refer to figure 1.18, have the best processing speed and are also the most expensive. They are considered to be the most powerful computers. They are used for weather forecasting, nuclear energy research, earthquake studies, space research and so on. Examples: Param, Prithvi. Mainframe computers. Mainframe computers, refer to figure 1.19, can also process data at a very high speed and they are also quite expensive. They can be used by more than 100 users at a time. Example: IBM Z series. Mini computers. Mini computers, refer to figure 1.20, are less advanced as compared to the mainframe computers in terms of speed and storage capacity. They are also less expensive than the mainframe computers. They are used by small businesses and firms. Example: PDP-2. Microcomputers. Microcomputers are small in size and less expensive. They are also called personal computers as they are designed for personal use. Microcomputers are specially designed for general use like entertainment, education, and office work. Some manufacturers of microcomputers are Dell, Apple, HP, and IBM. Microcomputers are of various types. Desktop computers, refer to figure 1.21, are large and are usually placed on a desk. Laptops, refer to figure 1.22, are smaller than a desktop computer and can be placed on the lap of a person. Tablets, smartphones, and palm tops, refer to figure 1.23, are smaller than laptops and can be carried along easily.